Yeah, so a lot of people are saying Punk's going to go for the title. Can I just say I agree?
Yeah, that was the rumor, wasn't it? Like online, everybody was saying that it's going to be Orton
Randy
Punk
versus
for the
Punk.
title. Cena's gonna
Bullshit.
be against Taker.
Bullshit.
Right?
Bullshit. I came up with a perfect scenario tonight.
Okay.
Daniel Bryan's been held back so much, right?
Absolutely.
He's already had the title. It got taken away from him.
Yeah. Well, he had it for
he
like
wins
less
Rumble.
than
He wins
10
Rumble.
minutes.
He wins Rumble. Triple's like, you get the match, kid. And Daniel's like, fuck your title, bitch. I want to challenge Taker.
Ooh.
Daniel versus, because look at it. You had HBK, Triple H, Triple
That
H.
would be a really interesting
No, hold up. This is, oh my God. I figured out WrestleMania 31. Dude,
right.
Okay, so it went HBK, Triple H, CM Punk, WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan,
and he beat
WrestleMania 31, DX versus CM Punk and Daniel Bryan.
Ooh.
Everybody
The only thing is, do you think that Michaels would come back for that? Like, I think if Michaels ever comes back, I think it would be just against Bryan.
Oh no, dude, I think that makes more sense because that plans out 2 years. Because it makes sense because what HBK
I don't know though,
do.
but that second year match is bigger than I think DX versus Bryan and Punk is probably bigger. Well, I don't know.
No,
Taker's always huge,
Daniel versus Taker. Oh my God, I'm gonna tweet this out.
Can you imagine if?
Hold up. 1 second. I gotta tweet a poll. Hashtag.
Which one's bigger?
Hashtag hold up, playa. This is now a oh no, never mind.
Not enough characters.
No, I was trying to make a Teddy Long joke.
Oh,
this is now tag. Never mind.
Yeah, the tag.
Hold up, players. All right. So what were we asking him again?
We're gonna ask if Taker versus Bryan.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or Bryan Punk versus
Retweet
DX.
if you want Daniel Bryan versus Undertaker at I spelled Wrestle wrong. WrestleMania 30. Favorite if at Blitzwinger. Something PG. Blitzwinger. Because they have to find a way to tag you and only have 15 characters left. Fave if someone else there at Blitzwinger.
I'll retweet it.
Let's see. I think that would be the greatest because he's already been held back. And I'm so convinced that Bray Wyatt is controlling him to get him to face Taker.
Well, yeah, I guess you could kind of tie that in
because
with,
Bray is trying to conquer the man that held him down. I mean, Bray Wyatt is the greatest thing in WWE.
Yeah, he's just like that. During TLC last night, something happened, wasn't it? Like it was like
I
something
fucking saw this the whole time because here's what people don't understand, and this is what the fucking little kids and all the kids that are watching my videos and always being like, you know, it's Tubby, this isn't happening fast enough, or somebody isn't getting built up fast enough, or something isn't happening. You have a group with like the Wyatts. They invested 1.5 years in developmental. 2 years.
Yeah.
They had different guys instead of Eric Rowan and Luke Harper.
Yeah.
You're not going to bring them into the WWE and have them go straight to the top like the Shield.
Because then people would be complaining, oh, they're just doing what they did with the Shield.
Yeah, so Bray comes in. They take out Kane. Kane goes away, right?
Yeah.
And then the focus becomes the tag teams.
I know, but then some people could argue like that what Wyatt family is going to be doing is like slowly, like the only thing it doesn't work with Kofi Kingston is like that the Wyatts are working still for the Authority because of the whole devil. Remember that promo?
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The devil isn't him. The devil is the Undertaker.
Ooh. That would be
the devil's favorite demon, or it's Kane controlling him.
But then Kane works for the Authority.
Or he wants revenge as his brother.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's so many different possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, look, Bryan versus Taker, that's huge money. The only thing is, you see, Bryan, he works like a really, like, because to me, I think that the biggest thing with Taker is like now most people are gonna be worried about him working too much of a stiff match. But then again, him and Punk beat the heck out of each other. So I don't know. Like it's almost like I feel like Bryan would be too rough of a matchup for him. You
No,
know?
it's not. That complements his style perfectly because look at Punk had an awesome match in one hell of a match, and I still to this day think they botched the ending. When Punk went for the reversal and then he kind of
it's one of those things where like the ending is truly like paramount because it's like, if it's crap, it really leaves a bad taste in your mouth, even if the match is fantastic.
They did a great job at recovering.
No, it was a great match.
Yeah, they did kind of mess it up, but like I think what really kind of fucked it up for me was when the table didn't break.
Yeah.
Because that looked like it hurt Punk, and I was like, ah, damn, dude. And that's when he went away for the month. And you know, when it comes to Punk, I don't know. Everybody's saying that he's going straight to the top of the WWE Championship. I don't know. I don't see it.
The thing about Punk is like the only thing is like if let's say he's not there, what does he do this year? Like what's left for Punk? Let's say we've got Cena tied up with Hogan, right? Let's say if that's the case there.
Hold on. I'm gonna create a Google document for this. This will be our weekly or whatever it is. Just kind of time this because I don't want to forget this. So drive, create a Word document.
Dude, this one's even cooler. The Family Guy one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. But she takes a long time. Look at the response time.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so WrestleMania. All right, I love Hogan Cena, and everybody's like, it's gonna be a bad wrestling match. It doesn't have to be a good wrestling match. It's Hogan versus fucking Cena.
It's just the names. Like it's like getting giddy about. Like I don't know. It's me,
Superman versus Superman because Hulk Hogan is the generation from past where no matter how much of a beating he took, he could Hulk up. Cena's the same way. You have remember
the way,
Over
Bryan
the Limit.
Does that a lot now.
Yeah. Bryan and Riley, Miz and Riley versus John Cena Over the Limit. When they just beat the living shit out of him, and Cena came back out of nowhere, hit the STF, and won. It's like he's the Superman of our generation.
Absolutely.
You can't tell me if John Cena hit an AA on Hogan and something happened, and then he hulked up and hit a leg drop on John Cena, and then hit another one, and then Cena kicked out. Like, you couldn't tell me that's the greatest sequence, and who cares if they can't wrestle? Like, who cares if they're not?
It's just a moment. Like, look, this is WrestleMania 30. Something big has to happen. Like, it's like there has to be a monumental type of match, and Hogan Cena would absolutely be it. And like, that would make perfect sense.
I can't find this fake tweet, though. There was this fake tweet that, it had the once in a lifetime, two's a thing, and three's an epiphany, or whatever the fuck it was. Mm-hmm. The Rock tweet, the fake one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to find that because I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. If they give me Rock versus Cena, I'm going to be pissed.
I don't know. I feel like, to me, the only thing Cena could do this year at WrestleMania that would, like, keep me excited is him Hogan or him Taker. That's it.
All right, so I'm going to put – which one comes first? Because I'm going to place them in order.
Probably I don't know. You see, like, Cena. I feel like – I think him and Hogan would be a more fun, like in terms of just kind of like a fun matchup to watch. Like I'm not expecting a Daniel Bryan CM Punk technical quality match or anything, but I think that it would just be just the two star powers, like that's really what it would.
Like Rock and Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. You could definitely argue that Hogan was in way better shape back then than he is now, but I still think that he could probably manage to pull off a good, like, I don't know, 12-minute match or something like that. I think he would probably pull that off. Because him, like, Cena and Taker is like, I definitely could see how people would say, well, it's scary to have them wrestle because then what if Cena does win? Because then people would be completely in a riot, right? Because it's like, why would they give the victory to Cena?
What if Hulk Hogan came back and wrestled Undertaker? Both old guys?
You see, that's the problem. I almost feel like that would be a mess. Because I feel like for Taker, it's not like he needs to be carried by any means necessary, but he needs someone who could, like, take a lot of bumps for him,
Yeah.
So that then there's a lot of spots that don't involve him taking a lot of the damage, Like, he can take a couple, but then the majority is taken by the other opponent,
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like. That's why I think Taker Bryan would be insane. That would be a really, really a big shocker if they did that. Like, I never thought of that before you brought it up right now, but that would be absolutely awesome. Him and Bryan definitely would be a really fun match. And the craziest thing would be if Bryan won. Like that would be insane. If that ever happened, that would be bananas.
That's what I'm saying. Like everything. Because that absolutely buries the authority.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the build-up? You have Triple H. You have Shawn Michaels ringside.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Or, okay, imagine this. Triple H is ringside. HBK is a special guest referee again. Mm-hmm. And he has to count Bryan to win over Taker. He had HBK.
Dude, that moment would be ridiculous.
HBK had to cause him, Triple H, to do what he couldn't do. What he couldn't do, but what Daniel Bryan could do. Like, that moment, that would eclipse everything for me because he doesn't need the title. Daniel is so over. And this is what people don't understand. They want instant gratification. They wanted Daniel to have the title at SummerSlam. He didn't earn it. He said he didn't earn it. He had some great matches. He won again. And once again, the best part of Daniel Bryan, the best part of a championship is chasing it. Once you just have it, it's not as exciting. It's the chase that gets you excited.
Yeah, of course. Plus, I mean, let's be honest. It's always way more. There's always way more, like in terms of historically, if you look back, money in a heel being champion and then the good guy chasing him for that belt. So, I mean, it absolutely makes sense. The only thing is with Bryan that I definitely feel like has been a little weird is that I almost feel like he comes off kind of like, I'm worried about the fact that people love him and everything, but over time, the casual fan can start looking at him and being like, well, we keep supporting him and keep chanting for him and everything, but then he just keeps kind of like losing the big situations in the big matches and everything.
He's not going to lose big situations. Here's why. Because I'm still thinking, and I want this to happen so bad, is the Wyatts to control Daniel Bryan. And what I see, because the Bray Wyatt's persona is the greatest character. And I would have said before, his ring work is meh. But that's the great thing about the Wyatts. They built it up in the fact that, he had a match against Kofi and Kane. Didn't showcase much, except for that one crab walk, and then it freaked everybody out.
Yeah.
But then the showcase for 2 months was on the tag team division.
Absolutely.
And then they finally get him on the pay-per-view on TLC. And this kid, and Jake the Snake Roberts said it the best, that kid isn't not good. That kid is outstanding.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, his promo before the match was outstanding. And everything about him just sticks out. And I think with him wanting to recruit Bryan, I think it comes down to, I don't know, say it's Bray, Triple H, or Daniel, or maybe it's just Bray, Daniel, and Bray sacrifices himself. Or Daniel.
But where does that take him, though? Like if let's say that catapults Bryan up to the top, and then what does Bray do?
I want to see him control him to go against Taker.
Oh, that would be fun too.
As much as I want to see Bray wrestle, his persona of that character of being that leader would eclipse him wrestling, I think. I mean, controlling Daniel,
Yeah, he's just. But you see, the thing is, what I love about Bray is that he's fully committed to being that character in terms of, like, for example, where there's a disconnect with Daniel Bryan, where, look, on the mic and everything, a lot of times Daniel Bryan is just like this, soft-spoken guy, and he's like, yay, yes, let's cheer for me, and blah, 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 But then in the ring, he's like this savage, just flying all over the place. With Bray, there's not, that disconnect doesn't exist because he's exactly what he is on the mic. Like, he's this hellacious dude, and then in the ring, like, that ground and pound when he delivered those elbows, it was ridiculous.
Don't even get me started. We got to go in order of that match. Okay, you ready for this? We're going to drop this thing in order. So, the greatest thing in the world, him sitting outside the ring in that rocking chair. They said he's still a legal combatant.
Yeah.
Eric Rowan and Luke Harper just go crazy. And can I say, Luke has been in my top 5 for a long time.
Yeah, he's super unique too.
Him taking that superplex off the top rope from Daniel Bryan, insane.
Yep.
All the damage they did. And then finally when Bray comes in, I try to warn you, Bryan.
Yeah.
and then he starts screaming at him. Like, you can't tell me. That is his character. Oh, my God. Like, I got chills.
When he reached out to him with the hand, he was like, this is your last chance. and then Bryan kicks it away, and then just that reaction of kind of like almost like he's like, "Why don't you join us?" You know, it's like he's so frustrated.
Bryan? Why, Bryan?
Yeah,
it's such a great character, and honestly,
he's super. Plus, yeah, you could see he's committed to that character 100%. Like, you know, some guys when they like play a character, you could kind of like see through them very easily. But he's so like
he keeps in the persona outside the WWE because I met him at SummerSlam.
He's so committed. It's so believable. It's incredible. He does it really well. It's almost like, you know, like Taker, where we all know that it's like he's not really a dead man or everything, but he does it so well and so committed to it that we all believe it or whatever, you know?
Are you serious? They just copyrighted one of my... Oh, that's dirty.
What happened?
They copyright striked my 2K14 30 Years of WrestleMania trailer they sent me.
What?
From WMG Music. Oh, man. We got to talk about copyright ID in some other video, but so anyway, back to Daniel and
well, we were talking about Bray, but Bray and Daniel's
that's what I was saying. Yeah. With Bray just yelling at him like Bryan, and then like when it came down to it, and you know Daniel starts firing up, and then he takes out Luke Harper over the table, which I thought was an awesome spot.
Yep.
Eric Rowan and Eric Rowan shined. Then that's another thing. Like you don't ever get to see Eric Rowan because in the tag team matches it was usually Luke Harper.
Yeah, he would do most of the heavy lifting.
That is why the build for the Wyatt family has been so great because very little pieces started to come out slowly. We got to see Eric in the match and then Bray unleashed. And Bray's hellacious. I just love when he goes puts his butt in the ropes and then come back off that.
Yeah,
that momentum is just wicked.
Yeah,
and I can't even. The sister Abigail,
they're super fun. The WWE has. I have to like take my hat off to both the Shield and the Wyatt. It's like those 3-man teams. Both of them have been like handled incredibly well. You know, like especially when you look back at some of the last few years, how they've been handling new stars and everything. Like those two teams, whether you like the fact that the Shield started losing or not or whatever. In my mind, they were both have been booked so far just incredibly well to make 6 huge stars for the next like 10 years, you know?
Are you surprised that they ended that match where Roman hit a spear and then the very next time they come out and win against Punk and 2 guys when Punk beat him, all 3 of them?
Yeah, well, it is definitely kind of strange in terms of like, yeah, you could say the idea, well, why would he need 2 like extra teammates to win when he did it himself last night? Yeah. But I guess you could argue maybe the idea that, you know, Shield is still a unit and they kind of tonight proved that they can still operate together because you could see it was again Ambrose, Romans, and Spunk, right? So they could have had a repeat of what happened again, but then tonight it's like Roman doesn't make the mistake, you know? So it could kind of, you know, throw the idea that Punk just got lucky. You know, he acted in the right time and that's it. So, I mean, I could definitely see why people would be upset because it's like, how does that make any sense? But at the same time, I feel like what it does is it allows the WWE not to break up the Shield yet, but already have seeds planted for the breakup, you know?
Well, that's what a lot of people don't realize is you're not just going to break stuff up. Like, honestly, like,
yeah,
I was so pissed last night when I went to Reddit. And I saw the Real Americans were going to win.
Dolphin guy or whatever his name is? Yeah.
I was beyond pissed because it said Real Americans were going to win. And he's only been wrong once. And I was like, yes! So Big Show's getting swung.
I love Cesaro, dude. He's amazing.
I was like, we're going to get to see him swing Big Show. It's going to happen.
Oh, my God. That would have been so awesome.
And then they changed it up because they posted the match too early. Posted the results too early. They changed it up on him. Mm-hmm. And they had the knockout punch. And I was like, when he knocked out Jack Swagger, I'm like, okay, that's a spot. Now Antonio is going to hit the huge European uppercut. Mm-hmm. And then he KOs, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck you, Dolphin. Because they seriously changed the results. Like, they don't mess around. Like, and I still don't know how the WWE hasn't smoked him out yet, like whoever's the leak. Mm-hmm. Because like you tell like 6 people, and you get 4 from the wrong thing, and see who leaks it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you could definitely try something like that. But you see, like in this day and age, it's like that's why, for example, when Jericho returned at the Rumble, that was incredible, you know, because it was like nobody knew.
Yeah, yeah,
Usually, like
yeah.
when Brock came back, whenever, like nowadays, they cannot keep anything possible. Like it's impossible for them to keep a secret
Do you
anymore
remember what
because it's
Jericho
like
did?
somebody sees something else, and then Jericho when he came back, it was like Jesus Christ, they pulled a trick on all of us. You know, it was like incredible.
Do you remember what he did the year before though?
When he did the comeback with the was it that yeah for Punk, right, when he came back for like with the creepy vignettes and stuff.
What they found like pictures of him at like the airport,
Oh yeah,
and then he starts photobombing everything. Yeah, I was like, that's that's Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily see him coming back to the Rumble. And I know Ardo Cal on Straight Shoot tonight. You can subscribe youtube.com/AubreyRex.
Oh yeah, that guy's cool. He's like the content manager for WWE, right?
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
He
sorry.
just stepped down. Yep. Yeah, and he's just a great dude. And we were talking about that, and I'm legitimately just excited right now.
Yeah, that's what I love about like this time. Like the last few months, I have to be honest. I kind of like I would watch, but I stopped watching actively. But then now it's like this last month or so, there's been this really nice, fresh wave of stuff happening. You know, like where there's all these possibilities. And that's the best thing about being a wrestling fan is when we don't know, like where it's completely speculation. You know?
Yeah.
That's the best time because when it's so obvious when you look at something like, well, this guy's gonna win and then this guy's gonna win. That's exactly what you don't want because then the only thing where it's kind of you can suspend your disbelief when that's gone, that's it. Like it ruins being a wrestling fan. It's really boring then.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the main event tonight.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, we can't. We're skipping past all the amazing, wonderful singles. I mean, sorry, all the tag team matches tonight.
Yeah. By the way, there was so much wrestling tonight, eh?
I loved it.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. It's like it was weird. Usually we don't get this much wrestling on Raw. It's like usually the main event is long and that's it. Or there'll be like one other match.
They're preparing for the network. And this is so awesome. Like this is I'm still confused as why the hell he has two belts.
Yeah. I think they were thinking of kind of like a smart way to get rid of the World Heavyweight title because they're probably going to just keep the giant one with the WWE logo, you know?
Nope, they're keeping the World Heavyweight.
Really?
Yep.
How do you know that?
Huh?
How do you know that?
Rumors.
Oh, wow. I would think they would keep the one that has a giant W on it just as a marketing ploy, you know?
But it doesn't say anything about heavyweight. And that's what WWE is pushing, heavyweight. I don't know.
You think they're going to introduce a different belt? Like light heavyweight or something? I think that would be smart, honestly.
I'm thinking cruiserweight personally.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah. I feel like that's one thing that WWE, like whether, I know they always love to say, oh, the UFC crowd is completely not our audience, which is complete bullcrap. Because let's be honest, a lot of WWE fans and a lot of my friends who were WWE fans now love UFC.
Dude, can I just cut you really off about UFC?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Mark Hunt, Antonio Bigfoot Silva.
Yep.
Fuck! That fight was ba-bam, 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 bam. And like, you could just tell, like, at the end of the match, they were just fucking, and they're just fucking, and they're hugging each other, and they're just like, I'm like,
I'm not surprised they don't want a rematch. Neither one of those guys wants a rematch.
Yeah, they said they put it all on the line, and the broken hands, it's absolutely crazy
fight,
what those two
honestly,
guys did.
It's like one of those fights where, like, in round 5, you start, like, you're like, dude, like, somebody needs to stop these guys. Like, somebody just go down because you're, like, starting to feel bad for them taking so much damage. It's crazy. Yeah, that was an insane fight.
Thank you. You just gave him CTE. I mean, like, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's a serious condition. Like, the first baseball player got announced to have CTE.
Wow. But, now they're starting to crack down on a lot of that stuff. Like they start paying attention to like concussions and a lot
kids,
of this,
like the soccer, and it's a crazy thing. with the WWE Performance Center, like for say example, like where all these guys are coming from, they just had a crap load of new signings. They had the tryouts and everything, and all these guys are coming in.
I heard. They signed a couple independent wrestlers, right?
The only thing I have a little bit of a problem with and all that is I love all the guys in NXT, and until the network comes out, I think they're going to be kind of stranded, right? Because Hulu, they're taping shows a month in advance.
Yeah, and all the spoilers are leaking.
And all the spoilers are leaking, and it's like, oh, we don't care because there's no storyline because the show's only an hour. If they go to a WWE network, I honestly think they're going to jump NXT to 2 hours, maybe. Some people are going to say
it's going to be insane, though. They've already got so much weekly programming. I don't know. Maybe they'll need it, though, considering for the network, they need to fill up time.
That's what I'm saying. They have to fill up time. And here's the other thing. They're not going on TV.
Yeah.
They want to go the internet route, and I think that's great, personally.
I know, me too. Yeah.
I'm a little upset because I do like it in HDTV, like for pay-per-views. I'm not sold on the whole Xbox 360 because the one time I watched, like, it played very nicely, but it did lag once or twice. So I still preferred on the HDTV.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit disappointed with that because I don't necessarily want to watch a pay-per-view on the internet, but.
Well, as long as the rumor is true about how much it's going to cost,
$12 to $14.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, people don't understand. George Barrios revised his numbers, and he said they only have to get 1 million to break even now, not 2 million.
Because then they don't have to. They cut out the middleman, right? They don't. They don't have to share anything. It's just pocketed cash.
Yeah, so they only have to get 1 million if they do that. And that's like, okay.
Which I think that any wrestling fan who is like reasonable in terms of like if you're paying for pay-per-views, like I don't know if you are or I do, so it's obvious that that's a huge savings. Like why would you not do that?
Absolutely. I'm so stoked for it. And if the rumors are true, it's going to launch after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, because they wanted to launch it right with Mania, right?
Yeah, and then you'll get Mania free if you sign up for like 6 months. So
yeah, it's going to be 6 months, right?
So
$60 or whatever, and then after that, it's $10 a month or $15, something like that.
So let's say it's $12 times 6. That's like $72. So you commit, say $75. You get 6 months, and you also get WrestleMania. You get Extreme Rules. You get whatever the hell they're going to call the next 2 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Which is a good deal. It really is. It's like.
Yeah.
I guess a lot
Plus,
of
you get a lot of exclusive like programming that is going to be exclusive to the network, which they've been filming, right? So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff.
I can't wait to see Legends House where they're 2 years younger. It's like I'm a little upset about a lot of this stuff, but you can tell like all the guys when they do like the interviews and stuff, like they're like, oh my god, they were shooting so much footage for the network.
Yeah, a lot of them are saying that.
And I hate to say this, but I love Total Divas.
Yeah, I enjoy it too because like it's obvious that it's scripted as hell. Like I'm like, okay, this moment is so scripted, it's not even funny. But at the same time, I just love like kind of I love the aspects of the behind the scenes at the actual events because it's something we get to see so rarely that here it's like you get it on a weekly basis. It's really cool,
One of my favorite things to see backstage, and this is truthfully, is when they come behind the curtain and you see Vince and like Triple H at the stand, like officiating and all. Like I think that's so cool.
Gorilla,
yeah, you're in the gorilla position, and I think that to me is like I want to see that process just one time. Like I don't know, Vince is not going to give away his trade secrets, but like just one time.
Yeah,
I want to see what it's like to be in gorilla position,
Yeah, I love even if let's say if they don't want to show us that like from a technical standpoint, like I love seeing a lot of times like when guys will like tweet their process backstage and stuff like that, like how they get prepared and mentally get into that zone, and like it's really intriguing to see. And then I love the kind of like traditional stuff in terms of like after the Mania main event, the main eventers come back and everybody is there to welcome them. And it's just kind of like interesting to see like a perspective into the culture behind WWE,
Yeah, and one of my favorite, documentaries of all time for WWE it was honest, and a lot of people are going to probably disagree with me, is the John Cena Experience. Because you got
I never saw that one, yeah.
Oh, you got the whole journey of his career, of the whole year, I mean, and you got to see all the stuff that John was doing, all these going to ESPN, being on like every single ESPN show, and then he led the Rose Bowl parade. And like it was the largest turnout of all time, in Phoenix for the WrestleMania.
Yeah, I did see that. Sorry, you're right. Yeah,
so it was such a good insight, like to see him like behind, behind the curtain, like getting ready. He's warming up and stuff, getting ready for the, this match. It's like, I love to see that when he's walking up the tunnel. You see him practicing his entrance. You see him.
Yeah, and I love how you see that mental switch where he goes from being a human to a superstar. Like as soon as he walks through that curtain, it's like boom. Like it's so weird because it's so like when you see them backstage, they kind of look like more human and stuff like that. They're not these like grandiose stars, just with their mannerisms and everything. But then as soon as he comes out, boom, it's like something completely switches, It's really interesting to see.
Yeah.
And I love the other thing about the Total Divas is like stuff like when they showed how Bryan's life just got ridiculously chaotic after he got into the WWE title picture, for more fans to kind of understand why sometimes maybe these guys are not particularly like kind to you or something like that in an airport. I get that without us, without fans, they would be nothing. I get that aspect, but at the same time, you have to understand that they're humans, and it's like sometimes they go through so much crap like that it's ridiculous. Like they have to do interview after interview after interview. They don't have time to spend with their families, so they might be a little bit pissed off.
Yeah, and especially like you go to like the next town and you get there like what? Sometimes midnight, 1 a.m., sometimes earlier or later, and then you have to get up at 5, 6 a.m. to do radio.
Yeah, like, I mean, their life is nuts.
It's crazy, honestly. There's no way I could do it. I mean, that's just. And then you got all the road producers that go along, and like people don't understand how big of like a production it is.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that go along.
Yeah, it's a crazy setup, but yeah.
So the main event.
Main event. Let's go, rock it. First of all, fantastic match. As far as just the match, really, really good. Best match that Orton and Bryan had, I think.
And it's on a free show.
Yeah, which is a little frustrating sometimes when you paid for the previous ones.
Well, because I just love how they sold the arm.
I love that. It's so old school in terms of like picking one body part and working for it the whole.
I had a little problem with the fact that Charles Robinson had to check on Daniel every single time, and like he got right in there.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little, ticked off with that because it got a little bit annoying after a point. I didn't like the fact that once again on pay-per-view last night that, when Randy Orton got cut open, they had to stop it because in Houston you have to stop a wound or whatever. You have to tend to a wound. And then tonight, they come back from commercial in this awesome match. And Michael Cole has to tell us the doctor had to tend to Randy Orton to his opened wound. I'm like, that takes away from everything.
Exactly. Like, why would you distract me? Yeah.
He's this vicious dude, and you just basically said, yeah, but he has to get the blood taken care of or else. It's like that kind of took it away from me. But then seeing Daniel Bryan eventually, get the crowd behind him, and that crowd is just going nuts. And then his comeback moment, and then getting shut down with that the low blow was just the ultimate heel moment, as JBL would say. As a heel champion, you do whatever you have to do to retain. Absolutely. That's the same thing Daniel Bryan, when Daniel Bryan was champion, when he got it from Big Show, and he avoided Mark Henry and Big Show, he did everything possible to retain that title. He was a snake. That's what heel champions do, and I absolutely love that Randy won that way. Lost that way.
And I love the fact that Randy was the one who was standing tall at the end, because I got worried when Cena came out. I was like, "Oh God, they're gonna do the Cena saving Daniel Bryan thing," and like again.
Can I be honest with you right there?
Mode.
I thought he was gonna come out, throw Randy out, and then turn on Bryan.
I don't know. I don't see Cena turning heel ever until anybody gets close to him in merchandise sales consistently.
I'm not saying turning him heel. I'm saying that because I honestly think for Daniel Bryan to go to WrestleMania, he's got to beat a couple of Goliaths, right? So I want to see him face John Cena at Royal Rumble, and then he faces Triple H like elimination chair, so that's somebody big, and then he goes on for the WWE title. Like that's what I wanted to see. Like that's what I was hoping Bray Wyatt was going to be, until I realized how awesome Bray was. Like I was expecting Daniel to conquer him, go on to face somebody big at Royal Rumble in Elimination Chamber, and then you would finally get that title opportunity. And tonight, it was just like it sold it to me that that crowd was going crazy for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I mean he's over everywhere.
But imagine that at WrestleMania. Because people don't understand the payoff. I mean,
it would be It would be like one of those magical moments, where it's like it would be special now. Don't get me wrong, but at the
80,000
same
people
time,
on their
if it's
feet.
a Mania, like when people would be like, finally, you know, it's like the most hardcore of wrestling fans are there, and it's like it's finally happened. And then imagine his entrance on Monday Night Raw the night after, as champion.
Oh man, what if he beats Taker?
What happened?
Oh my God. CM Punk beats Randy Orton at WrestleMania for the title.
Okay.
Daniel Bryan beats The Undertaker. Okay. Monday Night Raw is Punk versus Bryan for the WWE title, and Daniel wins it.
I think that every IWC fan just had an orgasm.
Like, think about that. Like, he conquers The Undertaker, and then he conquers the WWE title after that whole year of shit that he went through.
Yeah, I mean, that would be ridiculous. That would be
just for the simple reaction of the crowd, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, they better take advantage of that crowd. Like, that crowd every year after Mania for the last 3 years consistently has been the hottest crowd of the year. And they better, like, it's your perfect time to make stars. Like, Ziggler was made that night, you know? Yeah. Like, he was over, but then thanks to that crowd, he got over with the casual fans. So it's like, to me, I feel like they better leverage something huge for that night. Like, I don't know. That's my hopes.
I honestly think, and I may regret saying this, but if Daniel Bryan doesn't get a WrestleMania moment, that makes me satisfied for spending, because I bought every pay-per-view for the last 2 years, so except for the 2 that I was at the bar in Florida. I honestly might give up on WWE. It's like I invested so much into Daniel Bryan's chase, and it's either going to be it's either going to be the WWE title, and just imagining that at WrestleMania, or him versus Taker. And him versus Taker to me eclipses him versus HBK. And I know everybody's going to disagree with that. They're going to be like, no, it's HBK.
Well, HBK and him might put a better match together in terms of technically. But The Undertaker, every year consistently for the last probably 5 years has been the main event. Like, we all know that Undertaker is really the match that you wait for, because you know that that's the match everybody's invested in, and everybody knows this is the one that's gonna. You don't want to go after this match.
Yeah,
you know. So it's like consistently, Undertaker versus Bryan at Mania would be, in my opinion, bigger just because it's WrestleMania Undertaker, versus. Yes, of course, the idea of Shawn Michaels comes out of retirement just for this one guy, you could definitely build it up as well, and then do the whole student versus master type thing,
What I was still hoping for, and this was going to sound crazy, was I was going to say TLC that I honestly thought Randy was going to pull down the WWE title, or the World Heavyweight, and John Cena is going to pull down the WWE Championship.
Yeah, and they'll do that swerve, yeah.
The swerve, and then at the WrestleMania, it would be, Randy versus Punk, and then Daniel versus somebody for the WWE title. And then that same night, it would be CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Like an undisputed type situation where they finally combine the belts. Like, that would have been so much bigger than TLC.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I honestly have to say, I was shocked that they did. Like, when they started saying guarantee a champion, that's when that usually.
No, wait a minute. I know why they did it, dude.
Yeah,
we're dumb. We're dumb. The WWE Network's coming out after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
They only have 2 pay-per-views to capitalize on all the pay-per-view buys before it becomes $15 instead, and they lose money.
Oh, they're trying to sell as many as possible.
They're trying to sell as many as possible now. Exactly.
They're probably going to make more cash on the network.
No, the break-even.
Now they have to give a cut to everybody, and after that, it's going to be just pure profits in the pocket,
Yeah, but the margins aren't as big because they estimated to be like 180 million versus like the TV licensing is like $1 billion. So it's not as big as people think it is. But like, oh man, I
don't know. We'll see. I mean, it was really definitely surprising that they put put this kind of a match on TLC. But at the same time, to me, TLC has been becoming like the most fun pay-per-view. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's been a fun pay-per-view every year for the last 3 years. Like, it's always been kind of like you see some new stars popping up, and like last year we saw Ziggler and Cena. Like we get all these kind of refreshing things happening.
And then
at TLC.
the awesome match between Kofi, Swagger, and Dolph.
That's true.
When they knock the title off and Dolph comes swooping in and grabs the Intercontinental title. And like I was just watching 2009 earlier today on my computer, and Shelton Benjamin versus Christian was just an insane match. And it just goes to show, like, if they were trying to get that cash grab, and I honestly think they were, because they really only have that in Royal Rumble, and you're gonna try to get every single penny possible, and to do it, you unify the titles. But the question is, like, now what's the draw at Royal Rumble? What's bigger than a title unification match that's the champion of champions? And
my main hope is, like, sorry to interrupt you, but my main hope is, like, to me, I felt like, first of all, the World Heavyweight Championship has had very little value except for the name. You know what I mean? Which, of course, goes a long way. But the idea has been, it's really not been on a champion that meant anything in a long little while. That makes no sense. In a long while. So to me, what I'm hoping is that by uniting the belts, we will finally kind of make this thing the most important thing on the show. You know what I mean? Where for example, like, Cena doesn't need the belt anymore. He's bigger than the belt at this point. You know what I mean?
He needs it every once in a while, but he doesn't need it now. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, when he's champion, it doesn't particularly, like, the belt doesn't help him get more popular. It's the other way around. He kind of helps the belt more so. But the idea is that I'm hoping that belt will start becoming something that, like, everybody strives for to become that champion, because we've only got one top spot now. You no longer have one spot and then almost like 1A and 1B. That's it. Now there's only one.
And then you have the guys that are the stepping stone to that one.
Yeah,
and they have to really put, and that's the great thing about it, because Bray can go for either title. Big E Langston is just the oh my god, I love Big E. He put on
over crazy.
Him and Mark Henry in a tag team match put on a show, because now I want to see Big Show. I want to see Mark Henry versus Big E, first of all, and I love him as a tag team.
Well, that's the rumored match for Royal Rumble, right?
I don't know about Royal. Well, maybe, because we have 6 weeks, right? When is it's 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
WWE Royal Rumble. I want to pull that up.
Yeah, they have a long build, because now it's 2 weeks of pre-taped shows, right? So we only have like 4 live events.
Yeah, those throwaway shows, I hate them.
Yeah,
I know why they do them.
It's Christmas time.
Yeah, it's Christmas time, and I know why they do it. It's just. It's like TNA. TNA's been taped till like January.
Yeah.
It's like, that sucks. Is like a fan, like, to know a month and a half where the show is? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's why I'm sure that the wrestling industry hates the internet. The fact that since it's been introduced, it's kind of been really, like, they can't do a pre-taped show anymore and kind of have a mystery, because the big fans who care will just read and be like, oh, that doesn't sound interesting.
Actually, there's one promotion in this country that I think can pull that off.
Which?
PWG.
Yeah.
PWG is the most,
because you have to watch the matches. You can read, it's one thing, but watching them is a whole
PWG is the most outstanding promotion in the world. Like, the problem is that a lot of people that are IWC fans and, absolutely are internet darlings, that is not TV wrestling. That would never work on TV.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Daniel Bryan always says that when you come to WWE, it's a whole different style, because you have to wrestle for television. It's a different style.
And that's what those people don't understand.
Yeah.
So the thing that they were bringing up, with having to tame down the wrestling, and you're looking at all these guys that do those crazy spots, and the guys that go to the show and love it so much, and I thought it was so disrespectful. I went out with 2K to SummerSlam, and then at that Access event, they tried shutting down. God, who was in the match? There was Alexander Rusev and Scott Dawson, who I love Scott Dawson, and then it was Xavier Woods. Sorry, I'm trying to remember all the matches. They had Xavier. They had a Paige came out.
Oh, cool. So they had a lot of the NXT.
Ric Flair was there, yeah. Oh, it was Antonio Cesaro. Sorry, it was the Real Americans and Cesaro. They're chanting Claudio at him, and I was like, okay, I'm okay with Claudio, but then his what is it, Kings of
Wrestling, I think it was
Kings of Wrestling,
Hero, right?
Yeah. So they start chanting that at him, and all the chants from him, and then we're like, really? Like, you're at a WWE event. You have to be a receipt douchebag.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's almost like what the internet type of wrestling fan does. Like, it's almost like they want to be like, well, we know what your other name was. We've been following you. It's kind of like
Ryback Goldberg. I don't mind the Goldberg chants as much. I mean, they kind of got on me a little bit because I started to really love Ryback. When him and Paul Heyman got together, I just loved that so much when he kissed them. Anyway,
Ryback was getting so creepy.
The big guy. The big guy.
Yeah.
And when he fucked with people, he's like, oh, the big guy hates bullies. Yeah. Like, I loved Ryback so much. And if anybody chants, and I'm telling you this as a warning right now, if you call Bray Wyatt Husky Harris, I will unfollow and block you for life. Because there's a difference between, Skip Sheffield and, Ryback. I'm trying to think of some other guys that came up and the people still chant at him. Not Brodus. Tenzai.
Oh, yeah, Tenzai. Yeah, they trained A-Train a lot.
A-Train, yeah. No, Albert.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, Albert.
Yeah. And it's just frustrating. And if anybody chants Husky Harris, he completely reinvented himself 100%.
Well, that's why I think people are not cheering. I feel like, look, even with Ryback, I feel like it's one of those things where it just got like popular to do it, because it was like the fun thing to do. Hey, let's chant Goldberg at this guy, It's like chanting, let's go Cena sucks, right? Like at the end of the day, as long as you're talking about them, it's good. The worst thing you could do is be quiet in a match. Because that sends the worst type of signal to the authority. It's like, well, they're completely not interested. They're not booing. They're not cheering.
Yeah, but WWE right now is in that position where the crowd's going crazy, and the crowd's getting mad. They're like, can you not hear us? We want Daniel Bryan.
And that's what I was saying.
And Triple H is backstage like, bro, you're getting worked. Bro, this is all a work. Like, we know you're cheering for Daniel. Yeah, just imagine how loud you're going to be cheering for him in 3 months when you pay all this shitload of money to watch WrestleMania. Like, the WWE knows what they're doing, is what I'm trying to say.
You would hope so, because, like, let's be honest, we as much as it is a case of they hopefully do know what they are doing, but they have definitely had some stars that they've kind of flopped on, and I think that the main reason why they don't do the whole let's like rocket fuel this guy to the moon anymore is because the last few times they've done that, it hasn't paid off. Like, you look Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, like a lot of these guys who they would give massive pushes
don't put Brock into that category.
Well, I know.
Unless you're just
Brock
talking about Goldberg.
Like, super fast, right? He became the biggest star in the company, and then he starts kind of commanding his own stuff, and they don't want anybody to get bigger than the company anymore, like they could start dictating stuff.
They got to put him down a peg.
Yeah, but to me, it's like, if you want you need to have a star that is so hot and I don't mean like because he looks good. I mean like,
oh yeah,
yeah. Let's call Paul Heyman and Ryback.
Hold up, nope. I almost got a copyright infringement from the Kool-Aid dude.
Oh,
because I said, "Oh yeah,
yeah."
Oh man, watch out! What's the company that owns?
We're gonna have to edit it out.
God damn it!
Yeah,
that's what happens.
But yeah, I'm
Paul
just
Heyman.
hoping like they need to like the idea is, look, for me, Daniel Bryan, the only thing I'm worried about him is like let's be honest, the big hardcore wrestling fans are gonna love Daniel Bryan till the day he's done with the company.
What if he becomes a Heyman guy?
I think that would, like, people, like, yeah, obviously maybe the casual fan will turn on him because Heyman is such a good heel, but I think that the wrestling fans
I'm saying what if Paul Heyman comes back, the good guy, to help Daniel? Like, we think it's gonna be Bray. Like, I thought it was gonna be Bray. Like, what if it's Paul Heyman?
I don't know. You know what? To me, I think the best thing that could be with Daniel Bryan is maybe they do a thing of like where he just he's like fed up with this. Like he's like, I've been the guy that's been following the line and I've been doing everything by the rules and everything. And then he just goes off into this crazed mode where, he'll just like come in during the main event matches or something, just hit the guys with the running knee, or whatever. Like he just starts kind of going. I don't want to compare him to Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the idea is he could start getting a little bit more charismatic in terms of outside the ring as well, because to me, the biggest issue he has right now is that he's one person in the ring and he's a completely different character outside the ring. And that disconnect could start kind of driving the casual fan to be like, well, we keep cheering him on, but every big type match, he just keeps losing, It's not fun. Like the casual fan is going to be, it's not fun to cheer for a loser, whether we like it or not. We of course know that it's fake and whatever you want to say, however.
But how's he losing? He just won by DQ.
Yeah, but for example, the night before he loses to Bray Wyatt and the Wyatts, right?
That was three bigger guys. There is no shame in losing to the Wyatt family.
Yeah, but then you say, well, Punk won 3 versus 1. Why couldn't Daniel Bryan?
There was tension between the Shield. The Wyatt family are a close-knit family.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could definitely explain it. I absolutely respect your point there. But, like, you look back, like, you know what I mean? You could definitely say that Bryan's character, like, why did he get pushed out so awkwardly out of the main event picture? It was like,
because Daniel's bigger than the title right now. He doesn't need the title. That's the cool thing about Daniel.
People want him on the title. Like, people want him to have the title.
Yeah, but people don't understand that want is going to feel so much better at WrestleMania than it's going to at a throwaway pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, is that he still goes to the main event picture. Because, like, I made a video about, like, is Punk and Bryan getting buried? Because everybody was going on like, oh, they're getting buried by the WWE by facing the Wyatts, right? Like when that was 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
At Survivor Series or whatever. So I made a video about that. I was like, no, they're not. They're actually 2 huge stars are helping the Wyatts become more legitimate by being just in the ring with them and stuff like that. So I absolutely don't think he's been getting buried, because look, as long as he's appearing on TV, he's not getting buried, Like, as long as you get TV time, you're okay.
Wait, who are you saying is buried?
Pardon?
Did you just say Daniel's not buried? You had to defend Daniel being not buried? Oh,
yeah.
My God. Don't ever bring that up.
Well, dude, like, did you not listen? Like, online, people were like, oh, look at this. They're forcing Bryan and Punk to face against the Wyatts. 2 months ago, everybody was like, oh, they're burying them. They don't care about them being in the WWE title picture. They just want the big guys, Big Show and Cena and Orton.
Yeah, they did a smart thing tonight. And we didn't talk about this either. We have possible new #1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team titles.
Yeah, Big Show and Ray. That's my favorite combinations of tag teams, by the way, when it's a big guy and a small guy.
Big Show is the greatest in tag teams, too.
Because to me, that's the most fun dynamic, because then every partner offers a different wrestling style and they complement each other really well. Like, I remember, maybe some people didn't like it, but I remember when Batista and Ray tagged a few years ago.
Yeah, and they broke up. It
was such a fun tag team. Like, they would always have really, really fun matches,
Yeah, and then when they broke up and had their awesome match. Yeah, so...
Yeah. So to me, it's cool when you do that. But one thing that I wanted to bring up when I talked about the WWE and UFC stuff, I forgot, I just remembered it right now, is with the belts. Like you said, the Cruiserweight title, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's one thing that WWE could kind of like, not steal or anything, but like borrow from the UFC. Like, let's be honest, the UFC has taken ideas from the WWE, like the big titles and the entrances and all that. To me, I feel like they could definitely do like weights. Like, imagine that would be something completely different. Like, they don't need to have as many weight classes and stuff, but they could do like a cruiserweight, maybe a light heavyweight champion and a heavyweight champion. And then imagine, like, you could add a lot more realism to the storylines in terms of, like, you could say how a guy from the light heavyweight division has been like working out and he's been bulking up and whatever it is. And
Zack Ryder.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Did
like,
you see Zack Ryder tonight?
Yeah, he's getting jacked, or else he says Zach.
Zach. Okay, you follow him. You know what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that picture, I was like, because everybody's been seeing that picture that's been floating around that he looked like a 40-year-old dude.
Yeah.
And I got to find this comment on Wrestling Inc. because this is WrestlingInc.com if you want spoilers or stuff. Where is it? Where do you go for your sites? What's your website of choice?
I usually go No DQ sometimes.
Okay, they just followed me on Twitter. They follow a lot of people on Twitter, but where's that picture? Okay, yeah, right here. So I don't know if you've seen this picture. Some people say it's fake, but
I think I've seen it.
yeah, you probably saw it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
So like you look at that picture, and I thought he looked awesome. To me, that was like, yeah, exactly, looking good.
He's one of those guys that like I respect so much in terms of just how he never like gives up, in terms of like the idea that he's like he got himself over, and then now he still doesn't quit. He's like, okay, that didn't work out very well, so I'm just gonna get like muscular and work out and try something else.
I think they want him to, because I think they might do it like a light heavyweight type thing and then a cruiserweight.
I would hope
thing.
so. I think that would be really cool in terms of like adding realism to the idea. You know how there would be a little bit more of a idea like realism in the sense that a guy like Big Show shouldn't be losing to a guy like Rey Mysterio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
in terms of size, you know?
I would agree. And the thing about that picture with Zack Ryder, in the comments, my favorite one was, you know, I love this picture. It looks like a mid-40s Zack Ryder trying to prove he can still go in the ring. And I was like, that's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, it looks like he's out of breath and stuff.
Yeah, he's like,
oh, damn it. That drop kick really took the heck out of me.
Woo, 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 woo. Like that Zack Ryder is still down the road. And I don't know like when they switch up his gimmick, but I think his face is looking a little weird. I love his body, like his traps is like shit. Like he's looking like jacked or zacked, whatever he's calling it. Yeah. But his face,
I think it's
his
the
face
goatee,
looks
right?
misformed.
Yeah, I think it's the goatee there. Too.
Yeah, I miss it. I need it back. I don't like, he's got a really pointy chin from that look.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, maybe they're going to go heel with him. Who knows, right? Maybe that's what they're going to try.
Well, what if they make Zack Ryder the main event at WrestleMania?
I don't know. Look, the thing is, I feel like as long as you build someone to be realistically there, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, when they do the whole, like, haphazardly just throw something together and, like, well, let's just throw this at the wall and see if it sticks, you know? Like, that's the worst stuff. Because you look back at, for example, Orton Big Show, like that whole build, it was like so much build, and then just like, where's Big Show now? You know, it's
I'm one of those fine with that because it made sense. They shut him down. He failed the title. He got punted.
He was acting as this anti-authority character and like being very rebellious. And then after losing, he's like, well, yeah, you know what? I'll just be in a tag team now.
But he got punted. He got sent back down. He knew it wasn't gonna work. And he thought he admitted it. I thought that was one of the promos. Is like, I wasn't ready for it or whatever.
But then the idea is, doesn't that make like a lot of these guys then look illegitimate? Like if they keep saying, "Well, I wasn't ready for it," or blah blah, blah, you know?
I don't know. I thought Big Show did his job. He filled in the spots nicely for what he had to do. And, I said all along with the Authority storyline, it was never about Bryan for the short term. It was about Big Show. And I said that since SummerSlam. Not SummerSlam, was it Battleground? It was the one right after Night of Champions. And I said that storyline wasn't meant for Daniel Bryan because everybody thought it was Daniel Bryan testing the Authority, right? And it sort of was with the title getting stripped. But the Authority storyline was actually with, Big Show versus Triple H and his wife and getting bullied and all that. And, not only she won the Cole Award tonight, and her official response was, well, if you squish Cole hard enough, it turns into diamonds.
Yep.
Yeah, Stephanie, you're welcome. Congratulations. First of all, Triple H isn't a heel. Stephanie McMahon's a heel. And Triple H is the greatest thing going in the WWE. And why he's not the undisputed champion right now, I have no idea.
Well, that's what most people wanted to happen, right? Last night. Well, in the IWC.
Yeah,
right?
Could you imagine that? Like, just a Triple H at Royal Rumble. Brother. Like,
I was going crazy. I thought, like, imagine if they pulled off, like, something like a crazy, like, somebody who we didn't expect. Like, imagine if Brock Lesnar came back.
Nah, I wouldn't care for Brock. No,
I don't know. I think that would have been really cool in terms of like Triple H going out and hiring the guy that he's had like wars with last year
to shut down Daniel Bryan, and then Daniel Bryan. So that's what I was saying. So then Daniel Bryan overcomes Brock, and then Triple H hires somebody else, and then finally Triple H is going to get the job done.
Yeah, and that would be fun. As long as there's like, that's what I mean. As long as there's meaning behind the matches. It's like what you said about the Teddy Long joke, right? Like, it makes no sense when matches are just thrown together for no reason, and we're just kind of say, well, care about this, fans. Like, you should be caring about this match. Why? It just
But
you just put
when
this together for
they're
no
made as a
reason.
tag team match, like that's the thing I hate. Like when there's like a singles competitors going at it, and then somebody interferes and the other guy saves it, and then Teddy Long's like, holla, 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 players, makes the tag team. Like, the fact that we actually had real tag team matches tonight, and most of the tag team matches were very, very entertaining, and they all had great spots.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're focusing on it more makes me think, a lot of this programming is going to start to get filled with good content because they have to fill the network. It's no longer just, filling blank obligations to some networks for a show that they don't really care about. They have to, actually put in.
Now they have to keep happy subscribers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The question is, though, are they going to give up that $1 billion revenue for SmackDown and Raw?
I don't think so. That's why they're going online, I think, really. Is because it's almost like they're saying, well, this is a completely different channel, right? Like in terms of a distribution channel.
But is that the only way you can get Raw then? No, I'm saying they're trying to get the $1 billion contract because they say they can get more than NHL, which is going to be on TV. So are they going to be able to? Some people are saying they get aired at the same time. Would USA allow that, like, to be streamed at the same time? I mean, I guess they could, because there's a lot of TV shows nowadays that you can watch in real time on your phone, like via Slingbox or.
Maybe they'll do some sort of a revenue share on that then. Like maybe it's like they'll say, well, you could show Raw, but then out of every subscription, like $5 out of the 15 go to us or something like that,
I just thought of that because that's like a really, really expensive, licensing.
Yeah, of course.
Give up, because that's $1 billion that you're giving up. And you can't rely on people signing up for that network because we have to remember WWE's target audience. Let's be honest here. How many percentage do you think doesn't have access to high speed internet? At least 10%.
Remember. I remember with the Xbox One and PS4, there was like some statistics that shocked me how few people do have high speed internet.
Yeah, and high speed is talking like over. Some people would say high speed is like 2 meg. Like I'm talking high speed at least 5 meg or 10 meg.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's
probably okay. Let's be generous and say 40%.
Well, I think 40% would be a little too high for me. Well, maybe not. But you're gonna run into that issue. Reasonable. You're gonna run into that issue. Like, could you? If they give us WrestleMania for free with the purchase of the network for 6 months, could you imagine the servers failing at WrestleMania and us not getting to watch the pay-per-view and they had to refund it?
Yeah, I mean, they just lost. Not only did they lose all that revenue, but they also lost a lot of subscribers in the future because a lot of people will be like, well, that sucked. I'm not going to use this service.
That would wreck the service. So if you're going to do online only, there's so many risks involved with that. Like if there's even 0.1% of a downtime, you're screwing yourself.
Yeah, and considering they had that last year happen with Mania on the online distribution side.
Oh, man. Yeah, I remember
people
that.
Who watched it online last year, they got like weird outages every few minutes, and it was like a mess.
Yeah, I can't remember what pay-per-view I was watching. Well, I had Comcast last year, and I love Comcast because I had 50 meg, 20 meg, or whatever it was, and I loved my upload, 50 meg upload, and I loved it. I was so happy with my upload speed, and I could upload videos in like 3 minutes because my 20-minute videos were like 300 meg, 400, 500 meg.
Yeah, dude, I'm jealous of that. Here in Canada, we don't have those kinds of download speeds.
Yeah, man.
Oh, sorry, upload speeds. Download were good. Like we have 50, 60, but upload is the biggest you can get is like 7.
See, that's my problem. So, like, Comcast goes all the way up to 20. I think I had 50-10, and the next up was 120. And I had, like, 50-10, and I love 10 meg up. And then when I had to leave Comcast and I moved back home with my parents, Charter only has 34. And that 34 is their basic package. And 4 meg sounds like a lot up, but then their high-speed package is 100 meg. And they're like, well, we'll give you 100 meg, but you only need 5 megs up. And
yeah, because that's the thing. Like in terms of the average person, they don't care about the upload speed as much as we do. So,
well, and that's the thing. That's very hard. People, whenever I talk to the customer service rep, they're like, "What? Why do you need more than 4 meg?" I'm like, "Bitch, shut up! I do YouTube. Like, I don't mean to be like rude or offensive, and I know that sounds kind of like a dick thing, but like, there's people that will seriously sit there and question me, saying, "Sir, you do not need more than 4 megs of upload." And I'm like, I'm not sitting there uploading for 30 minutes on a video.
Yeah.
And so it's very frustrating. And then they wanted to charge me $200 to install the 105, even though I've already had it before. So if WrestleMania fails on those servers, that could be detrimental to WWE's whole plan.
Of course, it's first impressions. Like, let's be honest. If they're going to be introducing this network, obviously they're going to need to have stellar lineup of content, because like they have that pay channel or whatever it is, you know? Do they offer that in the States? Yeah?
They shut
WWE On Demand, right?
WWE Classics On Demand.
Yeah. So I used to subscribe to that. And for the first like month, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." There's all this like, you know, wrestling talk or whatever it was called, like the wrestling table or where the legends talk. You know,
Wrestling Roundtable.
Yeah, and some other programming and blah blah. But then a month later, there was like nothing particularly interesting being added, and I was like, "This is getting boring." So it's going to be very interesting to see if they could maintain except for Raw, SmackDown, blah, 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 those kinds of programming. What are they going to fill in all that other time with? You know what I mean?
Well, and WWE thinks they're going to make a lifestyle brand, right? Like they think they're going to make the next E-Network, or they're going to make the next HGTV. Like they think they're going to create this. And then, like, honestly, how much of people's world revolves around wrestling besides the guys like me that talk about it for a living? Like, how many people are going to be able to sit through all that, you know? Like, I love Total Divas. I like some of the shows. Like, Main Event, when it first debuted, they had awesome matches. They had, like, matches that would go
yeah, it was my favorite
breaks.
show of the week for a little while.
And then, like, when Sheamus is wrestling on there, like, all the guys are on there. And then it went to shit because it started being filler again.
Yeah.
And the guys from Superstars. And it blew me away. And they're like, it's just they don't care. But I thought, well, they don't necessarily not care, but they have a lot of guys under contract that they're not able to get on TV, and that's all they can do. Like, I still feel bad for the guys that are only on Superstars, because you're only seen on Hulu.
Yeah.
And, like, that's got to be disappointing.
Of course. Whenever you feel like you're filler on the brand, right? Like you're there just to fill in spots for...
I thought I heard somebody said that they were more happy to be in NXT than they were to be on Superstars.
It was definitely a little bit out of nowhere. Why the main event?
Yeah, it really was. It kind of felt like
it was so. It almost felt like one of those things where the WWE was like, "Damn it, we really didn't want to put Bryan in the main event yet again." But
no. I
kind of have to.
WWE knows what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Daniel Bryan said the whole along he doesn't need something handed to him, and I've said this all along. You know, he doesn't want it. He absolutely doesn't want to hand it to him. Tonight he had it handed to him again, and he's going to go into Royal Rumble and prove why he's going to do it. And if he goes from 1 to 30, makes it all the way, and like my prediction was, it was going to be him at number 1, and then 2, 3, 4 was the Wyatt family, and they'd protect him for most of the time. That was just fantasy booking right there.
That would be crazy.
It would be so much better. Like, he's just getting handed to it. Had he won the title tonight, it would have made no sense.
Yeah, I think 2 months ago, like 3 months ago, I thought that Punk should win the Royal Rumble. Like, I was like, that would make sense. But then now, I really do think that the guy that would make most sense to win would be Daniel Bryan.
Unless, and this is the other option, if they don't have a WWE, and they could, they're going to have to do this. The Elimination Chamber is going to be a number 1 contendership, and Daniel Bryan can win that. Never mind. So he doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble because they're going to have a WWE Championship match. So if somebody beats Randy Orton at Royal Rumble, he'll get his rematch at Elimination Chamber. He'll lose that. He'll go on to feud with Triple H like I'm predicting. And that frees up the champion to then face Daniel Bryan. And because I honestly think you're going to run into that where Money in the Bank now, you only have 1. Maybe you have a briefcase for the Intercontinental Championship. Who knows? But for the Elimination Chamber, it's got to be a number 1 contendership.
Yeah,
I don't see it being a title match. So Daniel Bryan doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble, and I honestly think it would be better whoever's facing Taker, for the sole fact that they have those sound bites at TLC when Michael Cole said they don't have a choice. You're gonna face the WWE.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm like, so no, you have a chance at immortality. And I said that on Straight Shoot with Aubrey Sitterson, Aubrey Rex on YouTube, and JR's Barbecue, Jim Ross, talked about in his blog and said the same thing. That shot the Royal Rumble challenging.
In terms of that's the one other prize in the land, so to speak, that is bigger than a title opportunity.
And for me, that would be John Cena. And I still think that you know, in the video
So you
packages.
think that Cena needs to win the Rumble and then go after Taker?
Not necessarily, because I still want to see Hogan Cena. Never mind. What I was still hoping for is, you know, in video packages, WWE has a history of not making Triple H look bad because, you know, he is the COO and he is the, you know, married into the family. So his packages really never make him look bad, ever. They do a great job.
And then the package at TLC showed him getting eliminated both
twice,
times.
yes, by you know, John Cena and Randy Orton. And what better way than the number 30 guy to be Triple H and Daniel Bryan eliminates him? Because that sets you on the sort of path. Like, come on, like, I'm just saying that is because I think Triple H is the greatest thing going. Like, and I say Bray Wyatt is too. I guess I say it a lot like Aubrey does. Triple H is just, his character is just a bamf. I love Triple H.
You see, the best thing though, what I love about like what I noticed in this entire conversation is the fact that we don't know what could happen, but there's so much good stuff that may come out of this. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
There's all these possibilities. Like you could see Bray Wyatt getting catapulted to main event status by WrestleMania. You could see like Bryan could have his redemption moment. Where does CM Punk come into all this whole picture? You know, you got Orton
we finally
now
get to see
coming
Sami
into his own as a
Zayn.
heel. Yeah, like there's all this stuff. Like there's the rumors that they're gonna start bringing up a lot of NXT guys in the Royal Rumble, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of really really cool stuff right now. Right now is a really fun time to be a fan because that transitional period has finally begun to the kind of the next wave of big stars. Like, you know, if you look at the roster, it's definitely predominantly
We didn't
new,
even talk about
fresh
Roman
faces.
Reigns and how awesome Roman Reigns is.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about
it?
that. We didn't talk about that. Yeah. He's like ridiculous how much he's coming to his own.
Would you have said when Aubrey brought this up? Me and Aubrey 100% agreed on this. When the Shield debuted,
yeah,
everybody just thought Roman was just a muscle. He wasn't going to be a big deal. Everybody was an IWC darling for, you know,
Dean Ambrose
and you know, Tyler Moxley and Seth.
Yeah.
So for Roman to be the guy now that's shining the most, I don't think anybody saw that coming.
Well, I think it's one of those things that, like, again, I have to be honest. To me, I think Dean Ambrose is the most
charismatic. Like,
not just charismatic. He's so unique. Like everything he does is so like you can't, like, you know, you can't pinpoint and be like, well, he's like that. Like he's got a bit of like Brian Pillman, some Rowdy Piper. He's got this like weird style where it's in the ring, his expressions, his mannerisms, everything is just so like unlike anybody else on the roster, which is always going to go a long way because if you can stand out just by the way you wrestle, you're definitely going to stand out in the eyes of the fans. So he is definitely like very unique in that sense. But to me, I felt like Roman Reigns was definitely being introduced with those guys so that he almost gets to kind of, you know, rub shoulders against guys who have a lot of experience in the ring, you know?
No, totally. I keep thinking about Dean the first 3 months, his crazy freaking expressions on his face during the match.
Yeah.
Like there was so many good pause times when we'd be watching the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And oh man.
And that's the thing, he's so unique. Like whenever you watch him, you know that he's going to do something unlike anybody else. But what I was saying is that Roman is like, he's definitely the thing that surprised me the most about Roman is not the fact that he's the big push guy, because the way I looked at it was that Roman Reigns is the only one that had the look that WWE loves, you know? He's the only one that has that kind of pedigree and look that they like to push towards being a big main event player, you know?
Yep. I agree with
so I never was surprised by the WWE pushing him, but what I have been surprised by is the fact that the IWC has started accepting him as this really great talent, you know?
Okay. All right. I would agree with that.
Because I think that's the most unique aspect about him.
Because he's really showing off. I mean, honestly, that spear, and I said this with Aubrey, is I would say 100% hands down, Roman has one of the best spears of all time. Because it's 10 times better than Edge. Because he gets airborne, he puts his power in it, and the way Dean sold that spear at TLC was just fantastic.
Anytime you can make a move look real,
I want to see
where
Dolph get
it's
hit with
easy
it.
to suspend your disbelief, that works.
And
he does
gets
it
out
easily.
the way he gets like midair. I want to see Dolph sell it. Have we ever seen Dolph get hit with a spear?
His spear, I don't think so.
Oh man, we got to book it. # I want to see a spear. I want to see broken ribs. And the last thing I want to talk about before we end is Big E Langston's theme song needs to come back. I'm getting pissed off.
Yeah, that's weird. What's going on?
Enough man copyright strike. No, because it was his face turn, so they gave him new music. And his new theme song sucks. But also dropping the straps.
I don't like it.
So over. What?
Yeah, I know. No, I like the straps. I don't like the music, the new music.
Okay, I thought we were about.
Well, the straps. Come on, let's be honest. Kurt Angle got that thing over, and since he's been doing it, it's like it's always popular. It's like, oh shoot, things are about to pick up. Yeah,
I'm excited for it. Like you said, it's a fun time to be a WWE fan. The future's looking bright, and I'm just really excited going forward. So
absolutely, that's the best part about this whole thing right now is that there's all these possibilities and a lot of really cool stuff can happen.
Just don't tune in for the next 2 weeks because it doesn't matter about anything.
Yeah, that's true. But come on, it's Christmas time. You got to give them a break, I guess, on that sense.
Not really. They are taping a week in advance. They can at least make a good show. Could you imagine if they did a title change for the WWE? Yeah, on the first one, and then the second one they just gave it right back to Randy, and the WWE crowd for that 2 weeks had to talk about that. Yeah, ooh, imagine that. Like they had to talk about it for 2 weeks. Like Daniel Bryan won. Yeah. Oh no. What the hell? And like everybody's waiting to see it. Could you imagine the ratings then on the third show?
Yeah.
Like everybody tunes in to see Daniel Bryan if he won or not.
That's true.
Oh man, that could be crazy. All right. You know what?
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming by. YouTube.com/Blitzwinger. Twitter.com/Blitzwinger. Anything else you got to shout out?
No,
I'm sure there's a daily. I'm sure there's a daily nice T-shirt apparel sale that you need to pimp out.
Yeah. That's don't worry about it. I don't like to shove people and stuff like that. I always try to keep quiet. It's just a
I like that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't fit in any of that shit. So like I love a lot of those shirts. I just want to say that.
Oh, dude, no, they have like big sizes and stuff. So it's like
I don't know, man. I'm.
You should ask them, dude. They might want to be working with you too. It's really cool.
Anyway, I want to thank you very much.
That being said, thank you guys for all the Tubby. I don't know. What do you call your fans? Tubby Nation? What do you call them?
That's what it used to be. I don't know.
Tubby Nation. Thank you, Tubby Nation. Hopefully you guys won't be too rough on me if I made any dumb comments.
No, it was a good time. We're having a lot of fun talk, and that's the cool thing is like you said with this WrestleMania time period, you get a lot of different opinions. Everybody's got their different theories, their plans, and it makes for very interesting conversation. So thank you for stopping by. It's just wrestling.com, and until next time, Blitzwinger, thank you for joining me.
No problemos.
And you have a wonderful day.
You too.